We have four. Everybody, any public comment? Oh, not right. And those are accept the minutes. All in favor? Aye. Any public comment?
Yeah, we'll start with Dick Bloom. He has a quick presentation if he wishes to give the commission. Yeah, my name is Dick Bloom. I'm a pilot, former aircraft owner and tenant here for a lot of years, a long time ago. Also was a member of this commission for a long time, 12 years. Then I left to be a professional airport consultant. And I managed to do that for 12 years. And for much of that time, I managed to convince Mr. Byers that he was my boss. So back in late 80s, early 90s, we had some tough times here in the city. There were people in the community who thought we didn't need it. And there was a prominent member of the city council who was promoting closing the airport, or at the very least restricting some of the operating hours to alleviate what they conceived of as noise. Well, at the same time, I was also a member of the advisory council to the Department of Transportation Office of Aviation. And as a result of that, I was active in a state aviation. And that advisory commission created a subcommittee of people who were specifically tasked with trying to come up with a way to promote Iowa's non-commercial airports and general aviation in such a way that the message will be carried to non-aviation people as much or maybe even more as the aviation community. And so we conceived of something called an Iowa Aviation Fade to take place every year at a different airport, appealing to hopefully different people, to be called Fly Iowa. And I, for reasons that will remain a mystery, volunteered to bring that idea back to Iowa City and to put it to all the people I could find who might support them, and to see if we could put together, in fact, that kind of a celebration, which we did with all of the summer. I couldn't begin to tell you all the people and all the organizations that participated. We had, not long before that, convinced the Iowa City Coralville University Tacoma Club to bring their pancake breakfast to the airport and use it as a flying breakfast. So their organization was very involved. EAA people were very involved. Involvement from of course, and members of the commission, and just a lot of people who wanted to make something good happen at the airport, to become some of the things that were happening that weren't so good. And we managed to put together a celebration late in the summer of 1991 that drew approximately 10,000 people to walk around, talk to people, see airplanes, watch an air show, eat some pancakes, bow. And I'm amazed and proud to say that thereafter, within a relatively short time, all the negativity that we have seen subsided greatly. There are still some issues that need to be worked out. So when I attended a recent open house discussion about remodeling the building, there was discussion about the fact that there were people who wanted to preserve as some sort of memorabilia portions of the building as well as other things that might have a place in collection. And I decided that it was a perfect opportunity to bring this item, which I have been planning for some time, to make it as a donation. And I'm hoping that we can find some spot for it. Believe it or not, there's a picture of it on water out there that weekend. And again, 10 years later, when we had the 10th anniversary fly. So, Mike, I'll help you put it for you. And I'm hoping that the people on the clock. So, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right now, we'll sit over here and then the wall and there is everybody.
Must be staying.
I would guess that if the time comes when it doesn't find its spot, it will make it get this.
1:30. Yeah, it belongs here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the presentation.
This is my wife, Nancy, who invented and carried out for years, first of all at Fly Iowa, and then later at our airport breakfast, our first annual, very popular paper airplane conference. That drew a lot of people, and she was spending an enormous amount of time doing that. And we actually gave away some nice prizes in the world. So.
Was that here at the airport here or? Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the original Fly Iowa. And when Fly Iowa moved on, we kept it as part of the airport breakfast for a long time.
Yeah.
I think until we ran out.
I have pictures of my mom,
Right.
when they came to visit, but she did, because you had it by age, and she won for her age group.
Right.
Was there anybody else at the age?
No. I started my when I was in my sixties. That way, yeah. I placed, but.
The other thing that she managed to put up with was beginning with Fly Iowa and every year after for, oh gosh, 7 or 8 or 9 years, we were worried because there were a lot of fly-ins who came in Saturday and stayed overnight. And we had those aircraft parked out in the greenhouse and no real way to provide security. So we had a supporter who lent us a motorhome, and Nancy and I would spend the night, Saturday night over to Sunday morning, sleeping in the motorhome, and I'd get up and walk around every time I heard something. What I would have done if there had been a problem I had.
You weren't in danger with your friends.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
I didn't get up another place for that.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be. Yeah. You're awesome. No, but you were not there. Were you? Oh, you were? No, at the event. Oh, because.
Yeah, I turned it back to the 80 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Any other public comments?
Right.
Item for construction. Airport construction project.
This one's just a lot of updates, runway 1230 displaced threshold. We have made contact with our contractor. We're just kind of getting everybody geared up to do our pre-construction meeting.
Yeah, we'll get their schedule when they want to get started, and then we'll back it off in our pre-construction meeting. So we're basically clear what's expected from everybody during the whole. So that would be, we'll get that schedule soon.
And make sure that was everybody, once we kind of get that out.
Just out of curiosity, how many different contractors are involved?
Well, I mean, the main ones will be the primes and the paving and the electrical. There's several, triple more. I don't know how many about the table. You remember Mike? Flew in the 4 or 5.
Total, there's like 4 or 5 companies involved.
Yeah.
Not terrible, but no, everybody's kind of got their own schedule. Terminal area study, we're just kind of going back and forth a little bit with the FAA and finalizing that and making sure we have the appropriate comments that they're looking for the space needs. And
We've had 2 rounds of comments back. And said one to add. So we've done the first one, and I got to finish the second one. So.
The fact that they want comments, is that a good sign?
I think it. At least they're not blowing it off. You know, they're taking that seriously. So I think that in that respect, it's the funny ones I don't see.
Yeah.
And then our solar power project, the only update I have there is you all saw the notice of funding that came out last week, and Friday through Monday and Tuesday, I spent most of Monday and Tuesday just talking to press people. It was really good that got some traction with pretty much everybody. I'm 99% sure if there's a media organization in the area, in a 30-mile area, I saw them. Both TV stations, 9 and 2 were out here, and the Gazette, that BI did a story, Quarter of Business Journal did a little story. So it's out there. Looking forward to that. We're still on schedule for that. The big thing with that one is we still do need our special meeting. And that one, if we could do a special meeting on the 4th, on Monday, March 4th. And the objective and the agenda there will be to set the public hearing for our plans and specs to be at the regular meeting on March 14th. Yeah. So it'll be a quick 30-second minute meeting, but
Not at 5, right? I
we
cannot do 5.
can do later. I can do one challenge. It's up to you guys. It's literally going to be a minute meeting to set the public hearing. I don't expect any other agenda items.
I'll be there.
I can do it.
Double
Or
check.
second.
Something that will now work. I think I will see about
I can only do 6 or even whatever you.
Yeah, the 6 people. Yeah, I'll be.
So March 4th, 6 p.m. We'll make sure we get that agenda posted and get that out to everybody, and we'll let CMT know that's a date that we're locked in for. Be ready for it.
You may get a call from contractor.
Oh, I've had several calls from contractors and folks already. I've had about three or four solar power people come in. I've had a couple other people stop in. So if we don't get bids for this thing, I will be absolutely floored. And if we don't get competitive bids, I will be completely floored. It's out there. People have seen that we're doing it, and I think there's a lot of excitement and being the ones to do it. So. Iowa DOT grant programs, the 23 program building improvements. Again, that's putting the block brick in place of our plywood wall covering. That's just waiting for consistent, solid, warm spring, actual spring, not full spring. But I think the contractor might still be waiting on a couple of supplies, but beyond that, it's basically.
I have to check back.
Yeah, I haven't
heard anything ready to go, but they like the Navy.
Time to stay.
And that really paid.
Hmm?
I don't say that one.
How do you pay?
Uh-huh.
When you do the job?
No, but with what,
That's covered by a state grant. So we had a state grant last summer that we got for.
and even though we're doing the whole terminal study and stuff with going forward, appropriation,
Budget, I had the budget meetings with city council, the operations and the capital improvement budget. I think I communicated to everybody that we did have one council member that was opposed to removing this building. As far as I can tell, that conversation is kind of, we got that resolved, and the council is expected to approve the capital improvement program as it was presented. The notification of awards for the planning grant that we applied for, we're not expecting until the end of February. Last year, they came out on February 27th. So that's kind of the timeline I'm expecting this year is sometime at the end of February. And when they do come out, hopefully we're involved. And if we're not, we'll let everybody know when we're done. I don't have anything on the management side. Just further down the agenda, there was the executive session for my evaluation. It sounds like we're going to do that next month. So that everybody has a little bit more time to go through the evaluation process. The Iowa Aviation Conference is coming up April 14th, 15th, and 16th.
That sounds right. For somebody who I can't remember exactly. That sounds right.
16th and 17th. That is in Cedar Falls this year. So I will be out of the office for a couple of days to attend that, but otherwise, and if anybody else wants to attend, you're certainly welcome to. Typically, there's one day where most of the activity is and the sessions and updates from like FAA people and IODHE people and whatever kind of hot topics are on the agenda. But yeah, if you're interested in going, I can send everybody info. We'll get registration.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting. Maybe plans.
right?
Probably not during the day, you know. At least not at the moment, unless they have some awesome food.
See you follow. I'm not in charge of the food, so I can't speak. It's still Cedar Falls.
I might be.
Again, I'm right. I don't know about you.
I'm trying to remember, Mike, from last time, it seemed like it was mainly the airport managers.
Yeah, generally it's typically like 80% airport managers, like 10% sponsors, so like commission members or city council type people. And then just various support people, consultants like Carl and Bolton and
There's vendors like fuel suppliers sometimes, and electrical suppliers and
building suppliers, you know, Schweiss and Midland Doors, and it's kind of a running consistent group of people that seem to be at these. But it also will dovetail with the Public Airports Association meeting. So the board of directors will meet before the conference, and our spring elections are there.
Where is it? Well, where is
So,
how many hours more?
about an hour and a half. It's like a suburb of Waterloo. That way.
Okay. And so we're driving back and forth.
I'm going to stay up there for the night out there, but if you're just going out for the day, I would expect to. But
Because the first day is what?
for me, the first day is going to be the Public Airports Association Board of Directors meeting, and then like early registration and some other networking type stuff. So I'll be out there. And then the second day will be the entire list of
So you want to be there for the second?
For the second.
I went to one of those. Cedar Rapids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was going that. It was interesting.
Yeah, the day of when everything is going, if you're going, I would just plan on spending there. The rest of it's just.
First afternoon, besides our meeting, the board of directors will have a team building thing that people can go to. And I think it's going to be like a golf simulator place this year. And the last morning, there's usually something interesting. I think maybe a tour of either, what was it?
You just try to set up like the back one of the actual garden groups to be out there.
Oh, that's right.
Looks like it too.
So we do have 17 times in favor of you want, because you said it was 16 when you have always.
Let me double check the agenda. I think the 17th is probably the day.
We do not have a conference throughout.
I'll send out the agenda to everybody so everybody knows what.
Thank you.
I'm just sending it out yesterday.
It's still getting put together. I know he's got one session still open that he hasn't found the topic for it. Other than that, I think that's it. Somewhere probably in May and June, I'm going to plan a couple of minor, like 4 or 5 day weekend. We're going to take a little bit of time off and use my vacation time up.
Oh, you do.
Probably. Spend it long enough and start a free vacation.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think it's anything. It should be really fun.
Then.
Events, we're starting to populate the calendar with events. The Arm Cross group, as I had mentioned last month, did reach out to me for their dates. The drive-in movie, I think we've got the dates figured out with that one. I just don't know that they published it as an organization, so I'm gonna withhold that. And then Young Eagles, we usually don't catch the folks that run the Young Eagles until early March because they winter in Arizona. And then our pancake breakfast, more or less just waiting for confirmation that the day is the last Sunday, which Jim McCarrier, I think they're listening to me, but Jim will give us a call in probably a few weeks here and be like, yeah, we're on. Then that's all I've got for events for now.
Okay. I feel.
Not long our end, finally got out of the one, the person still had, there for a while we were here, it was like 15 days straight, not like that a month, but it was a lot of moving and stuff like that. We did have, a gentleman came up, so we had so much snow. Trevor, was that was after this last meeting or before the last meeting?
That was active.
It was after the last meeting, okay. So one of the biggest things we ran up against, so it was really good, we had the throwing blade for the truck that throws snow further. But that does have its own limits. So on the north edge of 725, just where the wind was, they had the lights were buried by 6 inches, pretty much. We knew after the first storm that it was probably going to happen because we were right up at the bottom of the lights. So they went out with sticks and marked all the lights. And then after the second snow, I think we had probably 3 lights visible along the whole runway, maybe 4. So anyway, one of the things, I don't have the reimbursement in front of me. We had this out of the blue, the lights were buried. We asked the city for help to blow the snow back. And they said that they would get back to us. They were pretty busy, of course. And so out of the blue, on like the following Tuesday, a friend of mine who lived down in Washington said, yeah, I was thinking about you, I thought I'd give you a call. And I'm out trying out my new snowblower for my tractor. And so anyway, he came up with drove his tractor all the way up from Washington, Iowa. Oh my God. And spent a whole day, and he blew 2 days. He spent basically 2 days.
That's a basically lower.
And it's a big blower, and it was awesome. And he went down, one side of the light, the other side of the lights, and worked out in between them, and then it was exactly what we needed.
Wow.
And then he also moved a couple of piles, like in the parking lot, we had like our handicap areas full of snow, and so he was able to blow that out. So I ended up, basically just reimbursed, I think we ended up doing like $1,500 that we paid him, and so the airport paid $750, and we paid $750, and even that's probably not enough, but he was, he was awesome. And then of course, we were just, even at that point in time, we were thinking if we don't do it, we're gonna be really in a big problem, we had no idea. And nobody knew it was gonna be like this, if we would have, we would have thought more about it, but it was really good to do. So yeah, so it was equipment work. The equipment that we had all worked really well, but it was still a lot because when you get that much, you have to push it back a long ways, and then we worked a long time. We worked for days and days and days because we were trying to push back the piles further, thinking that thinking until January.
Two feet of snow in a week is unheard of.
It was, yeah, so we were literally we did have to close the airport a couple of times, a couple of nights, which nobody was going to come in anyway at that point in time. We wouldn't want them to come in at that point in time, but, so there's a little bit of closures, but not a lot, and we try to keep it officially open, even if we have to note them as terrible conditions on the runways, because the helicopters want them to be able to come in and out if they can. And not think that the airport's closed because we're here, but the runways are based. And we did close the runway. Actually, we didn't ever close the airport. We just closed the runway. But anyway, so that was the Snowmageddon.
It's all melted away.
And now it's like it never happened. So anyway, but no, it was that's a really tough time because you have lots and lots of extra labor hours, people working, and nobody's coming in, and it's just terrible. And so it got so cold. We had to call out furnace company to work on different buildings. The terminal was only made it up to 60 degrees 2 days in a row. So we all had space heaters, and really it worked out.
For 8,000 long building.
Yeah. Yeah.
How living was working and doing my feeling.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, we had everything was set up high. We kept the doors closed, and it was hard. But eventually, I think they did change out some filters to help it get up a little bit better. We're in the third day without almost.
They did do
60.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, no, we're really thankful that that's hopefully gone for a while. And as a result of that, because the dirt was, everything stayed thawed underneath, even though it got really cold. So there's going to be a lot of work in the springtime of dirt that got moved. It's going to have to get graded back out to a certain degree somehow. I know even along the road where they graded, which needed done actually, because the dirt was going to get so high above the curve, it needed done to trim it down. But now that's just a big pile of what did we do? So. You know exactly what we did about that. We'll get it figured out. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, other than that, it would have been nice to see everything back open. We're back to work, more trucks flying in and out, which is good. There's some activity in for the basketball game tonight, which we never used to get airplanes to do for the basketball, but now we're starting to do a little bit. But, exactly, yeah. So, other than that, that's all I've got. We don't have any questions.
Thank you so much for everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad
you.
Yeah.
And commission number 4. Okay. Staff report. You want to be in this?
Nothing else that I have.
Yeah. I don't have anything else. Okay. Then this is now.
I think you'll just want to do a motion to defer it to next month. Okay. So it'll be noted in the minutes that that's what happened with that agenda.
Could we have a little private meeting together, just to discuss how we're going to handle this? doing his evaluation. Or should we actually have formal brief private session?
If you're not talking about them directly.
Yeah, I think if it was just in general, you could do that. And I think you could still do that tonight in open session. Wanted to talk about.
Okay, yeah, that would be fun.
And then you would still do a motion to defer, which would just allow you to continue then.
As I recall, when I was president, I met with Michael and he and I kind of went through each item. And he gave me his perspective, and I used that along with my personal perspective to sort of fill out each of those little blocks. And then I sent that to the individual members for their review of comments before we went into private session. And I think that worked out pretty well. It took a lot of that. Otherwise, and the other thing is you can see previous evaluations, right? Yeah, which I believe that's developed.
Yeah, he gave me.
Oh,
Gave me
okay.
the lot.
Yeah, so that can be helpful.
Yeah, and the way that I set it up for everybody, I filled out those boxes based on the job description that we recently developed last year. It was updated by the city. Planning or the committee that we use to kind of make some updates of the one that we did and consolidate some of those.
So we have to fill out some.
So yeah, so I already got all the boxes filled out based on the job description. So, and I kind of grouped them together because we all have 10 and 2 of them talk about the same thing. So I kind of grouped some of them together, and that's what I did. So you can put your comments underneath each one of the job description, and then you can do the rating on the right.
Okay,
And
great.
then there's some goals that they were from last year's setup, which I added it to the, I think it's the 4th page. Where it says goals. And what I did is I moved the ones that we set up last year for everybody to make a comment if you have a comment about those goals. And then think about new ones that we can set up for the following. I also like that one underneath. And that's what I was looking for. And then after I have everybody's comments back, I'm planning, since Chris was not going to be here, I was hoping we did have time to do all of this before today's meeting, but I couldn't make it. So we have to move it to next month. But I told Chris that I would send everybody's comments, including mine, to him to add in the.
All right, so you need us to put in a rating and.
And then after comments are made.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if we do this and then it's deferred to March, when is this meeting?
Yeah, it's flexible.
Okay.
Well, I never received the email that you said HR was gonna send me.
Okay.
And we kind of like remember all of a sudden because Mike remembered that, oh, my anniversary is coming up. We haven't done that. And I'm like, oh my God.
The target is to do them right every year.
The year off, the day of the end, by the day.
But I know that it happens with scheduling and things. They don't always,
So March something is,
February 9th is that is my higher. So technically that's what
Yeah.
should be done. But
It's not gonna be.
it's not going to be, but it'll,
it's also the reality of, working for a commission that means once a month.
And then I told Mike to go ahead and put a reminder in the calendar for next year. So right after that January meeting, so by then he can go ahead and give all the information to the new chair. And that way we'll have like at least 3-4 weeks before the next meeting. And that way it's, nobody forgets and we leave it to remember, to memory.
sounds good.
So who will do a motion for us to move our executive session?
I move the new right session to next commission. March.
Second.
Roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
And next meeting would be March 14th. Are we all here?
March 4th.
14th.
So we'll have-
Here, 14th.
Yeah, we'll have a special meeting on the fourth.
Okay, but that's the Monday one, right?
Next
Yeah.
regular meeting for a agenda like this will be.
The 14th.
Okay, yes.
So what's the meeting on the 4th?
The set public hearings. So we can do a publication and say we're gonna have a public hearing. For people.
Oh,
I'll be gone on the 14th together with Matt, just so you know. There might be somebody else here for me.
who adjourned? You adjourn? You wouldn't think about it. Well, adjourn, but you can think.
Sure.
Second. Okay.
I think we're thinking.
I was kidding.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.